Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to Conversations with Karina. Before we get started, we're going to dive right into our divine prayer. Divine light, surround me now, shield my mind, heart, and spirit from all harm, doubt, and negativity. Guard my intuitive gifts and the visions I receive, keeping them clear, pure, and truthful. May only supportive energy from the highest vibrations flow through me and guide my understanding. Protect my insights from distortion, fear, ego, or unwanted interferences. As I hold my crystals, they anchor me in peace and strength, grounded in the highest vibrations of love and wisdom, all the way down to the core of Mother Earth. Thank you, Source, for the shield of divine protection that surrounds me always, allowing me to share my intuitive truth with courage and compassion. And so it is. Well, everyone, I wanted to come on today. I know I've been a little absent, and I'm sorry about that, but it's been a little challenging for me. And I'm not going to stay on long because I am having some more eye issues, unfortunately. I go back on the 9th. I've tried to get in sooner and I can't. So I'm just going to have to wait this one out. And I kind of wanted to tell you what the heck has been happening because I know people are just feeling this. I know I am. My, this whole situation of where we stand right now politically, what we saw yesterday with this press conference, I just want to go back and talk about what has happened to me over the weekend and coming into this a little bit. So for the last couple of weeks, I have been feeling this storm brewing in my belly. And I've talked a little bit about it, but I haven't been on that much to talk about it. I know I've mentioned that over with Rosie. And I could just feel it brewing and brewing, and it really did feel separate from my own issues of what I'm dealing with, trying to work through my own traumas regarding my future trip here coming up, because there has been a lot going on with me personally too in my body, and now with my eye, who knows what's going to happen. I'm just going day by day, and I've already laid this at Spirit's feet a long time ago. So I'm just going to take it every day and see what happens. But it did start a couple weeks even before the trip, feeling like the storm was brewing in my belly. And between figuring it all out, we did determine that I had this radar coming out into the storm that was brewing, so I could literally feel the storm brewing about 2 weeks before Trump kind of went missing. So it just kept coming in waves and hitting me. And a lot of times what happens is, yes, there's a storm brewing, but I could also tell that maybe there was a low-grade infection starting in my stomach because of all these symptoms I was having, that, maybe added to what was going on. So over the weekend, about Saturday night, it really hit me. I had gotten done with my work. I was just kind of relaxing because two or three appointments in a day just really wear me out. And I have to just take the time and relax. I couldn't relax because this nervousness came over me. that I couldn't shake. I just couldn't shake it. And I did all the things I'm supposed to do. I'm breathing, I'm working with my crystals, and it just kept progressing and progressing to the point where I could feel my body was about to go into its typical trauma response. And nothing had happened to warrant that. But I also knew what was brewing in me for the last 2 weeks and how I could feel something very, very big coming. And so immediately, my husband immediately stepped in. Thank goodness he's solid rock energy. And what happens to me is it starts in my neck, right here, my jaw, my head. It starts to, it like goes, it, the best way I could describe it is like it almost freezes. It goes into this state of just clenching, and I can feel this severe pain coming on. And the whole time, especially in the last like week, my ear, oh my gosh, the ringing in my ear has been so loud. So I also thought maybe I could be getting something, with having this eye issue, maybe my ear was inflamed. Anyway, I managed to keep the trauma response from coming on full blast, thank goodness. Because once the skeletal system and the nervous system kick in, it is a little bit challenging to break myself from it. But I have been able to do that lately, which I never really could before. Once it started, it started. And it would just send me spiraling down to where even my organs would start to slow and shut and go into the state because it was like preserving my body, my energy. But I managed to fight it off, and but I couldn't quite still get rid of what was happening and what I was feeling. It was such an intense feeling of sickness, and I would get waves of nausea and overwhelming fear and anxiety. And I could feel it was separate from me. And there was times that over the weekend, I even had feelings of heart attack symptoms, stroke symptoms. Like I even called Rosie at one point going, am I having a stroke? Yeah, I knew I wasn't, but sometimes those symptoms get so severe in me that it's scary. It is. I'm not going to lie. It is a little scary. And and then honestly, with my eye issue going on, and then this issue with my gut, I was a mess. I was a mess. And I'm still not quite over that. But it just on on okay, so Saturday night, again, anxiety in the middle of the night. Something's not right. Something's not right. I could feel it. I could sense it. I'm experiencing it. I'm experiencing all these symptoms and this treachery and this fear and this panic and all this overwhelming stuff. And it just kept coming. So Sunday, I woke up, I just felt like I had been hit by a Mack truck. I was so sore. Every part that had seized up was just, I could barely even touch it. My eye was just throbbing. I felt like I actually had the tear in my retina again, which I'm not even sure if I do again because can't go back till the night now. And it was just, I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I just couldn't even barely function on Sunday. Matter of fact, since then, I've tried to record 2 videos, and looking back, I couldn't post them, you guys, because I barely sounded coherent. I just wasn't. I could barely speak, and I'm even still having trouble getting everything out correctly. I was just jumbled and it's like, I can't put these out there. It's a mess. But I was a mess. So Sunday night, I want to tell you about a scary experience that I had, which makes me feel that everything I was feeling this weekend is true and accurate. So Sunday night, I go to sleep or go to bed and I put the covers over my head like I usually do. And I'm just about to fall asleep. And all of a sudden, I could feel this dark force energy just come screaming into my room and hovering over me. And I could feel it, but then I could also see it in my mind's eye. I could see them over me. And it was just like I have parasites looking to feed. It was just disgusting. It was this dark energy. And I knew they were looking for my light. I could feel it. I could sense them looking for, they wanted to feed, basically. So the next image I have is Trump hovering over them and looking down at me like, ugh. And so what I understood in that moment was those were Trump's minions first coming in, looking for life force, light, and life force. And they were coming at me because I hold the light and they need light to feed. So his minions came looking for it, and then he came in. And they were looking to feed off my light. They were going to try to take my light. And so I know, I realized this obviously, and I've got to just, so I just sat there. I'm the light, I'm the light, I'm the light, I'm light. I just stayed powerful in the light. And what was so cool, immediately when they showed up and I figured out, oh, dark force energy, this is coming at me. I have a guide that's with me, and his name is Grandfather Starseeker. And I'll tell you about him some other time because it's a pretty cool story. But he is a Native American shaman. I was his grandson in a life way, way back in the very beginning of time. And so he is with me now to guide me through these times that we're in and to take me through he wants to be here for my healing practice because he is a shaman. But he's also my guardian and my protector at this time. And he just stepped right into the picture. He was right there. And he showed up with my black obsidian tower and my tiger's eye tower, which I have somewhere else because I was using them for protection. And he just stood there, and they were as tall and powerful as he was. It was just amazing. So they came in to help me slay this dark energy because they were looking to feed. And we did. We did. It was a little scary, but we did. And so after that experience, I realized, because what it felt like during the experience, that Trump was dying and he needed life force to survive. He needed life force, he needed light. They all did. They were looking for light and life force. Hopefully, what they found isn't going to last very long. But it made me realize that they're crumbling, they're dying, their life force is running out, their light is running out. And then it even showed it to me as I was telling the story to Rosie and we were talking about it. And yes, this is what I was picking up. It even showed it to me as a energy station. And even their reserves had run out. So they were looking for light anywhere they could find it. And people like me that carry the light, that's our mission here, they were coming after. So, hopefully everybody stays protected at this time. And if anything like that happens, you tell them to get the hell out of there. You don't stand up to it. It's just dark force energy. It's scary at the time, but it is just dark force energy, and you carry the light. We all do. And if you shine that light and slay them, they can't. They can't. They can't come at you. They can't touch you. So now we're going to yesterday. This whole debacle, just I'm going to call it a debacle with this press conference because I knew what I experienced. You can't, I couldn't make this stuff up. Why would I want to? I wouldn't want something like that to happen to anyone. That was scary. And it was real. And felt those symptoms from what was happening behind the scenes this weekend. And I know other people probably were picking it up too. Not a lot of us see Trump and his health lasting very long. So this weekend really felt like there was some sort of issue, emergency, death bringing him back kind of feeling. And then we see this press conference yesterday where he looked pretty darn good. He even spoke really well. He even pointed out some facts that would make you believe that he was there talking because he referenced a few things that were recent, which I found actually kind of odd because he could care less about the death of somebody's family member or a football game. He doesn't care about that stuff. Those aren't things he wouldn't console anybody. He would be like, well, happens. You knew it was coming. He's not that kind of guy. Everything to me just looked odd. Not right. Not right. It didn't pass the smell test. There was something off. I could feel it. I could sense it. We were watching this thing go down, and it's like, okay, this isn't right. This isn't, no. And we all know that they have pre-recorded things. They can work with AI. They have access to people that have some of the best technology because nothing about that felt right, felt real, and I feel it in my body. I know what the heck I felt this weekend, and I'm still feeling this impending, this stress just won't leave me. Like there's something behind the scenes that we're not seeing. Something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. And I want you to not be fooled, but by what you may think you saw, because I don't think we saw the truth. I really don't. That to me did not feel like the truth. And so much so that it made me physically ill while I'm watching that because I felt physically ill before him getting ready for that. Like he could barely do it. So something's just not right. And the more I sat in that energy yesterday, it was, it ended up feeling to me by the end of the evening, I had the same gut feeling that I had right after the election. Something's not right. Something doesn't look right. It doesn't smell right. It's a smoke screen. And it came across after in the evening, like I remember saying in the beginning when they cheated too much. They went too far. It was too obvious. they changed too many number. It didn't go from completely blue to all of a sudden completely red. That they just went too far. And so I had that same feeling last night about that press conference. Like they almost made him look too good, too perfect, because I don't even follow the news or watch anything, but I did see a few images over the weekend of what, some people caught of him. It just didn't match. Now, I will say this because I've experienced open heart surgery my own self. I've been through that. And when I went through it, I did have some complications afterwards. So I ended up in the hospital for 5 days. And the doctors are like, we've never had anybody here for 5 days. We need to get you out of here. Well, yeah, I did need to get the heck out of there, but I did have some complications. Mostly everybody was up and walking the next day, and they were out of there within 3 days after open heart surgery. And honestly, out of all the things I've been through, I am going to be honest and say open heart surgery wasn't my most painful thing at all. I didn't take any pain medicine. I refused everything. The most I took was four Motrin at one time, which is an 800 milligram Motrin. So it just, it wasn't a very painful experience. It was weird because they cut your ribs and your ribs are trying to, go back together. So it's odd feeling and it's really uncomfortable, but it's not painful. It wasn't for me. Trust me, I've been through way more painful things. So I do understand that if he did have some sort of heart issue or a stent or something, pacemaker, he could be up and running within a couple days. So not so much, I think, with a stroke. A stroke is a longer recovery. There's more signs of it, which kind of has some signs of that too. So there are a couple things that could have happened that could have, you know, brought him back to some sort of life. And we all know Nurse Ratchet, you know me, you hear me say Nurse Ratchet all the time, is right by his side, pumping him full of whatever he needs to be pumped full of. I don't care. It's truth. I don't care. I mean, we all know that because you can see it. It's just obvious. But I just need to go on record saying what we saw is not the truth. I don't care. I really don't. I just don't believe it for a minute. I think that he's in a lot worse condition than they're letting on. I think that they're doing everything they can to keep hold of him for just a little bit longer. Their narrative would would be better with Trump than JD Vance. Nobody likes him. And I think that they can all see the writing on the wall that he's not going to last. People will revolt. He doesn't have the same kind of charisma. He doesn't have the same charm. He can't fool people like Trump can. He just doesn't have it. And so, to cling on to Bernie, and when I say Bernie, I mean Weekend at Bernie's because that's what they're doing. They've been doing this the whole time. I've said it way back. It's that situation. It really is. It really is. They're just keeping him full of what he needs to be full of. I guess there's no other way to say it. So I just had to come on and talk about that because I feel like it's another one of those. I keep getting the word bamboozled. Bamboozled. That's what they want me to say. It feels like we're being bamboozled. And it feels like almost a bit of shock. Like everybody was like, what? He's supposed to be dead. Aren't we getting some sort of different announcement, or we just all thought differently? But I'm gonna say it this way. There's a lot of people out there like me that feel, and we don't make up those feelings. They come to us. They're there. They present. They develop. They present. It's not something that I sit here and go, "Ah, I wonder if he's having a heart attack. I wonder what that feels like. No. Do you really think I do that? Or anybody that feels would do that? No. We don't want that. I don't want it. And you can't deny how that feels. So you might be seeing people like me coming out and saying, this isn't right. This isn't right because we can feel it. We can feel it. Not only can we see it, we can feel it. So I tend to go with that. I have to trust that. I have to trust that feeling because I think by now you all know that I experience things on a next level that most don't. So that is the feeling that I have to go with, and that is my truth. Whether it turns out that way or not, oh well, but that's the way Spirit gives it to me. And I just felt compelled to come on and say it because it just doesn't pass the smell test for me. Doesn't. I just feel like I did when the election happened. This is BS. It's not. It's a smoke screen. We're being bamboozled. We're being fooled. They're showing us something that's not real. Whether some parts of it were real or not, I feel like it was dubbed together. I know I've learned what it takes to edit videos. And sometimes, no matter how perfectly you do it, you sometimes still have to edit. And I'm not good at it. But can you imagine the people that are AI and that are good at all that? How you can make things look? How do you think they make movies believable? You go to those movies and it looks real, doesn't it? They could do the same thing. So use your intuition, use your gut. And I want to say that because even people like me that I went through the ringer, and I'm still not out of it. And I'm sorry, but that is real. So use your own guidance system at this time f- for you to feel what's real, for you to decide, was that real? Was it not? Just go with your own gut. Okay. I think that's the most important thing at this time is that you always go with your own gut, your own guidance system. I have to go with mine. I'm not allowed to go with anything different because my body is my guidance system at this point. And I've learned that. So I have to honor even though it's rough on me sometimes, it really kind of just tells me what's happening in the world. So I have to honor that. But okay. I'm not going to stay on long because I am still having an eye issue and I'm really sorry. I just want to say I am behind on a few videos. Um, I have a few pre-taped, but I haven't even really been able to edit. My eye has been limiting my screen time. And if I'm behind on any emails, please forgive me. I'm trying to stay above the fray, but like I said, I am dealing again with an eye issue. So please be patient. And I'm trying to be here as much as I can for you. But I also have to come on when I'm coherent and can speak and you can understand me. So as I know it's been a little rough. All right, everybody, hang in there, take care, and just keep your eye on the prize because right now it's so delusional. It's so delusional. It's hard to stay in that moment of what we really want to happen and see in our future. Okay. Try to stay out of the delusion. All right, everybody. Take care. Much love to you all. Okay. Have a good week, rest of the week. Bye.